Welcome to this video and demo of the REST API that we have in Creditsafe Connect for Business Central. I'm starting this walkthrough here in our documentation. We can look under the development and administration where we have the REST API. And the first thing we will take a look at is a sample typical workflow where we use the REST API for in like a web shop scenario where you want to do a credit check on a potential customer to determine what kind of means of payment you want to have available for that customer. So basically, we want to do a credit check, and normally, when we come to the fourth step here, when we create the customer, normally that's a web shop integration that creates a sales order and creates the customer. It's if it's a new customer. We will also take a look at how we can link that new customer to data from Creditsafe, so this customer will automatically be subject for automatic updates of credit information from Creditsafe. I will try to follow this guide that we have here. And first of all, we will take a look at the countries, because depending on which country, we can search using the registration number or the VAT registration number. When we use the API, we need to use one of those two because we expect one single result from Creditsafe, not a list of companies that we can get when we use the BC client for searching. So I'm going to switch over to Visual Studio Code, where I have prepared some requests. And in my example here, we're going to look at a company in the US. So first of all, I want to know how can I search in US. So I call the API and the countries list. I filter it on US, and I get this result here. So we can search both using the registration number and the VAT registration number. And in this scenario, I got the registration number. So this is in this query here, we specify that we want to search in US. I have the registration number, and I want to save the monitoring object. That is the monitoring object is the company data that we fetched from Creditsafe. And I also want to get the report data. And that will be automatically anyway when we use the global data source in Creditsafe Connect, since we do the credit check based on the report data. Okay, so let's do the credit check and see what response we get. Okay, we can take a look at the information we got there. This company is Lighten Incorporated, the company that is currently buying Northvolt in Sweden. It's in Sunnyvale. We have some address information. Most importantly, we have the credit check approved, which is true. So this company has got an approved credit check based on the rules that we have set up inside Business Central. We also see some other data here. We get the credit limit that is calculated, suggestion from Creditsafe, $54,000 US. The ranking is C, so this is a medium risk company. We can also see that we do not have any customer number, vendor number, contact number inside Business Central currently. So this is a new customer. And since it's a new customer, we also do not have any data from the customer ledger, like the balance, the overdue balance. Is the customer blocked? What's the current credit limit? What's the prepayment percentage? Stuff like that. Anyway, this is an approved credit check. So now process in the web shop continues. So the the customer, the new customer here places the order, and when the user checks out in the web shop, the web shop probably sends the sales order to Business Central and also create the customer. So let's pretend that we create this customer from a web shop. I have prepared that a little. Here we can do a call to the standard API in Business Central to create a customer. Let's call it Light and Ink, and well, we can just leave it like this. We should probably set US here. Oh, so this is the web shop creating the customer. Now we created the customer. We got the customer number. Like that. And we want to link the customer number to the monitoring object. So that's the next step here. We will create the customer object association. So this is the customer number. And of course, I forgot the ID of the monitoring object. So let's do the credit check again. And that was the ID of that company. So the customer object association will represents the link between the customer card in Business Central and the monitoring object in Creditsafe Connect in Business Central. So when I send the request, we got a 201 created. Okay, so let's go into Business Central and see what happened. I should find a customer called Lighten. Okay, there you go. This customer is monitored by a monitoring object, which is linked to this customer. We can see that also in the Factbox area where we have credit monitoring information. So this is a customer card. The customer is approved. It's a C ranking, and this is the same data that we previously saw in when we did the API call. And we can take a look at it from the other perspective, the monitoring objects, which is company data that we download from Creditsafe. We have Leiden Inc. here. The ranking is C. We should probably find like a data report also. Yeah, this is the report. So here's the report data that we downloaded from Creditsafe to evaluate the customer. So this was a C ranking customer. So the customer was approved. And from this moment, this company here is put into a monitoring portfolio, and the rating indexes, the ranking, credit check are automatically updated whenever anything changes at Leiden. So that was a walkthrough of a typical web shop scenario, doing a credit check, creating a customer, linking the customer to the monitoring object, like that. So let's go back to the documentation and see what else we have here. We have done these. We have some endpoints for report data. We could play around with that. Um, I think I have something prepared in my sample here. Okay, so maybe we should continue with Leiden. We copy that and see the reports that we have for this company. So we got one single report. We downloaded that today. And if I want to see the content of that report, that was the first version. So this is the report, and this is the first line, which is just the header, the basic. And then the next line is the parameter for the registration number. The description is registration number. The parameter value is like that. And if you want to, you can use other filters on report lines, like can try this one. I don't know if we get this data from the US, but let's see. No, we didn't. Um, but uh, let's go back to that one. So now we are searching for report lines for a monitoring object, and one specific parameter. So we get the balance liquidity for this company throughout all the reports that we have downloaded. So this number here, 3.4% percentage, is from April 24. We got some number from May, got the same data. We have some change here in 1 year later. So you can get any kind of report data like this through the API. The API is often used also for pooling data out to solutions like Power BI. But you can also do it quite easily from like Excel. I have created this request. All the monitoring objects will fail credit checks, which will list monitoring objects and will filter on credit check status equals not approved. So when I do it in Visual Studio, it looks like this. So they're quite hard to read, but this is the first one. Here comes the next one, and so on. But if I copy this and go into Excel and get data, let's see, it should be from an OData feed. Let's see, find it. Yeah, there, from the OData feed. So let's paste the URL. And if we take a look at this URL, what it says. Well, first of all, it's the URL to my Business Central environment, and then it's the Creditsafe Connect API. And if you go to the right, it is this company. And then we want to get the monitoring objects, and we filter on credit check status equals not approved. Okay, so let's click OK. We got the data into Excel, so just click load the data into the spreadsheet. So This is the way you can consume Business Central data from an OData feed inside Excel. So this is now a list of all the companies that I have as monitoring objects that are uh, that, that that have a failed credit check. And this is a live connection. So if I would save this Excel spreadsheet and then open it again, it would pull new data from Business Central. So that was the web shop scenario. That was some report lines. We pulled some data from Excel, and we are back in the documentation. I just want to point out that so far we have used consumed data through the REST API, um, meaning an external application. But we also have many partners accessing the data from within Business Central. And it's good to know that you can actually uh, do these things without going out from Business Central and back through the REST API. You can actually go from an app that has a dependency on Creditsafe Connect. You can do the same things, but by just using the functionality that we have in our BC app. So this is a description of how you can do that. And at the end of this page, uh, you can see that we have examples similar to what we used in this demo. So I hope you found this demo interesting, and that you found some use cases for the API if you have external systems like web shops, partner portals, other kinds of external systems that need access of information about your customers. So thank you for watching and listening. Bye bye.